Hey, how's it going? This is Modern Prepper. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what was going on here and kind of give my opinions on a few things that have been kind of coming up in the news. Today there was a cyber attack on roughly, I think they said, a dozen airports across the country. It only delayed flights for like an hour or two, something like that. It wasn't really serious, but I predicted this a year ago that there was going to be cyber attacks. And it's not even really like a prediction. You guys gotta understand that the elites pretty much tell us what they plan on doing. They write it in their books, they put it in their pamphlets on their websites, they say it in speeches what they're gonna do. It's not a mystery. Let's just say that within an hour of this cyber attack, they had already started blaming Russia. If you go to the news articles, it was like basically within the same hour this happened, they already knew that Russia had done it. All within sync, all the newspapers are all saying the same thing. Russia was to blame for it. Russia. Which obviously is going to escalate the situation even more. And in doing so, this is going to drag Russia into an actual shooting battle with the United States. Because they're going to be left with no other choice but to respond. I mean, between this and the pipelines, I don't think he has a choice. He's kind of backed himself into a corner, And the thing of it is, though, is that I don't think that Russia actually did the cyber attack. It's another one of those false flags that they always do right before we go into war. They have to have some reason to justify the war. So they fake some kind of attack on themselves. And that's how crooked America is. We pull the false flags. If you go back, I think it's in 2016, you see Hillary Clinton saying that she would suggest using nukes against Russia if they did a cyber attack against us. Well, I mean, there it is. I'll play the tape for you.
Increasingly, we are seeing cyber attacks coming from states, organs of states. The most recent and troubling of these has been Russia. There's no doubt now that Russia has used cyber attacks against all kinds of organizations in our country, and I am deeply concerned about this. I know Donald's very praiseworthy of Vladimir Putin, but Putin is playing a really tough, long game here.
And then, even more recent than that, in 2020, you got Klaus Schwab talking about cyber attacks becoming a normal thing for the internet.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic. Masks are not sufficient. We need vaccines to immunize ourselves. The same is true for cyber attacks. Here too, we have to move from simple protection to immunization. We need to build IT infrastructures that have digital antibodies built in.
So what they've been doing is they've been subtly programming people to accept the idea that cyber attacks were a real thing. They've been priming people for that idea, and especially as an act of war, an act of aggression from another country. And so that when there is a cyber attack, which is probably our own country doing it to us, when there is a cyber attack, they can basically use that to justify war. And that's what a false flag is. And here we are. And so it's just getting more and more escalating as time goes on. And so I think that time is running out for a lot of people. If you don't have your stuff that you can survive, try to figure out a plan, at least. Try to get with a group of people to figure out how you guys could all benefit from each other from what you have. So now's not the time to panic buy anything, but it is time to really get your gear and go and start prepping and figuring out your plans and teach yourself some formidable skills that you could use. And so if you were paying attention to those videos, Klaus Schwab was talking about a pandemic of cyber attacks that could spread like a virus across the internet and essentially shut down the entire grid. So if you guys think that that's way too inhumane and these people are not crazy, they won't do that. These leaders got our best interest. You don't know history very well. Okay? This is absolutely their plan. They want to bring humanity down to their knees. They're collapsing every currency. They're destroying the food supply chain. They're destroying all trade. They're destroying the world economy. They're trying to bring us down to our knees so that we will accept the fix. The problem is too many people are waking up. And the more and more people that are doing stuff like this and posting videos about this type of information, the better off we're going to be in the long run. And no matter how crazy you might sound to your family members or whoever else talking about this stuff, you need to help wake people up. You need to show them what's going on. It is time. The only way we win this is by spreading the correct information. Not misinformation, as they label it. The correct information. Okay? The Great Reset is real. It's not just conspiracy theory. You need to show them the stuff here. Okay? The long-term plan for this is to shut down the power supply, the grid, the internet, water, you name it. They're going to shut it down and call it a cyber attack, and it's going to be down for quite some time. Okay? They're going to try to starve people out. If you don't have 6 months to a year of food and provisions figured out, and I mean figured out as in, can you make it happen? Can you farm it? Can you hunt it? Can you fish it? However you can do it. Or do you just have it stored up? If you don't have that, your chances of survival are going to be pretty slim. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to be real here. But you heard what they said. They're going to shut the grid down. That's worse than any nuclear war. Just wanted to keep this video short, so out.